And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken. Tyler, this is weird. It's Thursday, April 28th, at the time of this recording. What a weird time to do this. I feel completely out of my element. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to see you, but I am thrown off by this. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, Brad, I agree with you, man. These evening episodes or recordings are so different. It's weird when the sun is not reflecting on me. So yeah, I'm a little thrown off as well, but we've been here before. We knew that we had to record this. I'm so excited to see you. I'm rocking the same jersey, different day. I think our last recording, I had the same exact outfit on, but it might be a good luck charm, Brad, because the Phoenix Suns won again. So I might just have to, I don't know, wear the same jersey every time they play now.
Yes,
I'm just so relieved that they're going to the second round. I am so excited to see you, to talk some AEW, and yeah, man, I think this should be another great episode of GI.
I want to point out I'm doing well. That I am wearing the benediction tee.
You had to one up me on the wardrobe. Yes,
I do think that maybe that played a role in this, even though right
Absolutely.
now, as we talked about off air, as I'm looking a little bit like Steve Jobs sitting in the dark with my black shirt on. It is not a turtleneck, contrary to what it appears to be if you're watching on YouTube. It's just the beard is a little full in the bottom, covering it up. But
the beard is coming in nicely.
I'm hoping the Steve Jobs money starts rolling around. If I'm gonna steal his gimmick.
That's the next step, man. You are you gotta just reach it in stages, and the money is the final stage, my friend.
And that starts with us. Please like, subscribe, pass it on, share this, talk to your friends, talk to your family. In fact, call them, set an alarm for 3 a.m. Call them at 3 a.m. and tell them, hey, get up. Here's this video. Watch this video. Here's this podcast. Subscribe to it. Unsubscribe and then resubscribe. It helps us out. For real. The more that you can do for us, the more that you spread the word, the more this can grow, the more silly stuff we can do, the more likely it is we can get some really cool guests on. I know that's our goal, is to maximize how much fun we're having on here. And right now we're having a blast, but I can imagine what it could be if you share it out a little bit and help us spread the love. We are doing this podcast, recording on Thursday, April 28th. I will not be here on the weekend. First of all, Jess lost her grandmother. I lost a grandmother-in-law. She's been my surrogate grandmother since Jess and I met, and I've known her for 17 years. Amazing woman. I do want to tell this story. It's the story I always tell about her, even though there's so many stories. She had such a quick wit. She was 94 years old, almost 95. And just a few years back, she wrote a children's book and illustrated a children's book. Just incredible woman. Why did she do it? She wanted to. The first time I met her was at the family reunion. Well, the first time I actually had a conversation with her for a long period of time, other than pleasantries, was at the family reunion. We were in Milwaukee, and I don't know the relationship because Jess's family is enormous. But somebody named Rita was getting up, and Rita's in her like 80s at the time. I think her daughter or somebody was announcing, hey, Rita has an announcement. And like that, without a beat, Janet just turns at the table. She's pregnant. This was the first time I had ever had a long conversation with her. And she had the whole group cackling because of how fast it happened, and just super dry wit. Totally willing to play along with an inside joke that's obviously stupid. Woman loved her puzzles. I love doing puzzles with her. At a couple of different times, she'd be doing a puzzle. I'd go jump in with her, and we'd be the only ones there for hours, just kind of sitting in silence, doing a puzzle, trying to figure this out together while all this stuff happens around. We miss her, but she had a full life. She was surrounded by loved ones. And I wanted to say heartfelt thank you from both of us to all of the 19 fam who sent flowers, and it just beamed. I'm not trying to throw shade here, but I do want to say 19 fam, you are the only ones in our circle of, if you want to call this employment, in our circle of colleagues, that did that. I was not expecting anything, to be clear, but I did want to throw that out there. It means the world that people that we don't even really know super well would think, but this is the thing, this is the right thing to do. Let's take care of each other. Man, I was just absolutely blown away by the kindness from 19 Media. So if you're still listening to me yammer here, if you could go find all of the people in 19 Media, follow their stuff, like their stuff, subscribe to their stuff, check it out. Even people that are doing stuff in 19 and out of 19. Jabari's new podcast is insanely good. Please go find that, listen to that. I'm sure Tyler, you have comments on that. Tyler, I kind of want to talk hoops for a second though, and I want to pass it to you because off air I'm like, why are we not talking about this? I know this is a wrestling pod, but we like other things. The Packers just drafted an inside linebacker. I don't know what's coming next. I know they're probably on the clock as we speak. But at the same time, your Phoenix Suns are moving on to round 2.
They are.
How we doing?
Yeah, man, doing great. Well, first, thank you for sharing that. So well said. I loved hearing the puzzle aspect. I did not know about that. I am a fellow puzzle lover and have really great memories with my grandmother, my father's mother. We used to complete puzzles all the time. So I'm glad that you'll be able to go to Michigan. Of course, wishing you a safe trip, and my best to Jess, of course. In terms of the Suns, yeah, man, it's just, I think, an evening of just universal exhales, just all across the metropolitan Phoenix region. The New Orleans Pelicans are not bad. I have not watched a lot of Pelicans basketball this year, admittedly, and they surprised me, man. They were so scrappy and just so unafraid of the moment. It was the classic underdog 1 versus 8. The Pelicans are of the mindset no one thinks we're going to win, so why should we play with any pressure? And they really took it to Phoenix. Jose Alvarado is a dude. Herb Jones looks like a stud. Brandon Ingram's a star. I mean, you could just go up and down their roster and they have players. But the Suns pulled it out. Devin Booker miraculously returned this evening. Yeah. I think he ended with 12 points. So
yeah. Quiet night, but I didn't think he'd be playing at all.
Exactly. Yeah. That seemed to come out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So I am super stoked, man. The city, colleagues, neighbors, businesses, everyone is behind this team, just like last postseason. But the goal, the expectation is to bring home a trophy. So we'll see, man. It's not going to be easy. They got Dallas or Utah next round, which is not going to be easy. And I told you this off air. It seems to me like it's just going to be a collision course. Knock on wood, they get there, of course. It seems like it's going to be a collision course between the Suns and the Warriors. I know we have our good friend Mike Steff of the Salty Thoughts of Donnie podcast, who is a Golden State fan. The brother lives in Brooklyn, Brad, but he's a Golden State Warriors fan. Maybe you can explain that to me sometime. I think we'll need an hour of the pod at least to try to dissect and figure out how that is logical in any way. We still love you, Mike. But yeah, man, I'm super hopeful. I'm glad they got out of the first round, but now there's more work to be done. The expectations are pretty large this postseason. So I'm stoked. I'm going to wear this jersey, and I want them to bring home a trophy this time.
I'm desperately staring at this right now. The Packers are on the clock for their second pick, the 28th overall.
I haven't followed the draft at all so far this evening. This is the first draft I can remember where I don't know the number 1 pick.
Well, it's happening at such an inopportune time.
I could name you 10 players in this draft. I know the Cards picked up Hollywood Brown, and that's about it.
That's why I said they picked up an inside linebacker and didn't name them by name, because I have no idea who these people are.
But the NFL draft is usually like, oh man, we know who the first
Appointment
3
viewing,
quarterbacks are
and
going to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
this not deep this year. While I'm waiting here, I did want to say something that I thought was funny. I was checking out the box score, and I haven't followed the Suns closely at all. I've been watching them when they're on my screen. Imagine my surprise to see that JaVale McGee is still in the league. Like, I didn't even know
you didn't know that, bro. Wow.
I had no
yeah,
idea. He had 2 points tonight, and I was like,
wow. That's
so when I saw that, I was like, because I was like, he's got to be like mid 30s, and I looked at it. He is in fact about 33 or 34, 10 years older than Ayton. So I was like, oh man, I can't believe JaVale's still out there. But it's awesome.
Oh yeah, he has
great.
he has a prominent role. He is the
Oh, it's
backup
great.
center. And I mean, you were watching the finals, I think, pretty closely last year. That was one of the Suns' Achilles heels, was that they didn't have a lot of size. And
yeah, that's right.
Giannis, like he does for most games, was just dominating the paint. I mean, no one. We love DeAndre Ayton, bear down. Love that he's a Wildcat.
Yeah.
But after a while, it was like, oh man, DeAndre can't stop Giannis by himself. So yeah, man, JaVale is not only in the league, but I think you need to put some respect on his name. He's the backup center. And the other night, he had like 14 or 15 points. Dude gets rebounds. He rocks the gold grill. He's the real deal. Yeah, he's a contributor.
I always thought he was great. Don't get me wrong. I was just shocked to see him, because I haven't heard it's not, you don't turn on Sports Center very often. And like, well, granted, I don't turn on Sports Center at all. So
that was appointment viewing for me back in the day.
but unless you're watching the games, I don't think you're going to see a lot of highlights showing up on Twitter of JaVale McGee. So that's all I was trying to say. Glad he's got
a little defensive. Yeah.
Like every once in a while, like I'll see something like there's an Iguodala, or there's a
he's on the Warriors.
I can't even think of like who. There's somebody that Miami will like just get off the bench to fight people every once in a while, and that's about it. There's like that guy on every team that's just, it seems like they've been there for 50 years, even though it's been probably 5 or 4 or even less, but has just been in the league forever. But forever isn't really that long of a time. When you're like, oh, they're only in their 30s. Oh, but they started when they were 20 or 21. That's a long career. I think about that now, and I'm like, this is my 15th year teaching, and that's essentially the equivalent.
It's a milestone, yeah.
It's crazy to me that somebody can play professional sports for that long and not just have their knees explode or their back give out or whatever else. Longevity is insane to me, especially that many games.
Absolutely, knock on wood. And then finally, that's a perfect transition for me, man. Speaking of longevity, Chris Paul went 14 for 14. First time ever. I had no idea. No one has made 14 buckets without a miss in a playoff game. I think he ended with 30. I could be wrong. 33 points, like 8 assists, 5 rebounds in the house that he built, the former New Orleans Hornet. Now obviously they're the Pelicans. It was just a huge showing for him. He responded. Like we said, Devin was there. Super happy for Monty Williams. Willie Green, awesome coach for New Orleans, a Monty prodigy. I can just exhale though now, Brad. I'm saying all these good things, but I was nervous. I
know.
My last words, I texted you.
Yeah, yes.
Tight sphincter city, man.
Yes.
It's been that way.
Huge.
The whole series. New Orleans had an absolute legit shot to dethrone the Western Conference champs, but they did not. And I am incredibly grateful for that.
Would you say that Bridges was your breakout star of the series?
Yes,
because I can't think of anybody else that would
for sure
break out.
For my fellow Suns enthusiasts,
2 for 2 from 3 tonight.
Yes, for my fellow Suns and enthusiasts or loyalists, whatever you want to call them, we've known that Mikal Bridges is a stud. But yeah, in terms of his offensive prowess, I think particularly last game 5 in Phoenix, when he dropped I think like 35 or 36. That's usually not what Mikal does. Defensive stud will give you about 12 to 13 points, but I absolutely think he's the breakout. Can't sleep on DeAndre Ayton though as well. Still think we got to pay the man this summer. I'm worried about that. That's in the back of my mind. I don't know what Robert Sarver is going to do, but I think we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yes, Mikal Bridges, just a stud, man. That guy's wingspan, somehow he pulls off the yellow sneakers. which is a choice. We just love him here.
Excuse me. Yeah. I wanted to ask this question finally, and then we'll move on here. So the guy that I always thought looked most like a pro wrestler growing up, and I wanted to see if you saw this video with Rex Chapman, Muggsy Bogues was the guy had just cannonballs for shoulders, and it seemed like he was 3 or 4 feet wide. If he were a Marvel comic character, he would be Puck. It's just dude was amazing, but to watch him play defense, I remember like that's where I learned like I loved playing in the post. I don't know if you know this about me.
No.
Yeah, I loved playing in the post.
Get out of here.
I love playing defense specifically in the post because all the big dudes I played with, except for shout out Andy Harvey, who's definitely listening right now. Outside of him, everybody would put the ball down. So they either put it on the floor or they would turn into me and I just grab it. It's just, and that's how Muggsy played. It's just, you can't put it down in my face. Like
low center of gravity. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I can relate. Yeah.
Oh, so much fun. I love playing in the post. It's like, I can see why people like doing this, but I did not like playing offense in the post. Then I was just giving.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you vice versa that.
Yeah. No.
I feel like
that's me floating to the elbow and not even jumping straight up. I'm just popping to the left and letting it ride.
Yeah, I feel like Andy Harvey and the other bigs would probably get some revenge on you that way.
Andy Harvey was our center and would absolutely be a guard in any other place. But there just weren't any tall people. I think Andy's probably like 6'3", maybe 6'4".
Yeah,
and
we all have that friend. They were forced to be the center.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah,
but no giants.
Yeah, man. Justin Cushing was one of my friends. Really good dude. And same thing. Like he was always the center because my man had that height.
I used to get power bombed all the time, like power bombed or whatever move was done onto the high jump mat by a guy named Rick Ness. He was a senior when I was a freshman.
Great work name.
Rick Ness is a great.
Rick Ness is not bad at all.
Rick Ness is for those of you who watch, I don't know if it's Gold Rush, whatever one of those gold digging shows is. He owns one of the mining companies. He's a prominent feature on that show. But yeah, that dude used to power bomb me onto the high jump mat.
And we're not talking to Jackknife, a traditional power bomb.
No, Jackknife City, yeah.
Jackknife. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
I mean, he would just get me up there and just launch me and let it go. You know, like he wasn't spiking me to the turf. No, he was just. That's it.
Yeah.
I land how I land. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great transition though into wrestling. We are going to talk about AEW Dynamite this week. When I tell you that I love FTR, man, I'm not going to say that I feel like FTR is my Brett the way that Brett is to FTR. Not even remotely close. I just love FTR. I think those dudes do great work. I love the way they work. And we got to see Dax versus Cash this week in an Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament qualifier. What did you think about the match, Tyler? What did you think about the match up specifically?
Yeah, Brad, I loved it. You and I were speaking before we clicked record, and I think we agree that at times it was a bit slow and perhaps a bit too methodical. But like I often do these days when I go on Twitter after the match, and then you see some of the callbacks, such as the callbacks they had to Owen versus Brett, which frankly I was not tapped into. There were spots where I would assume like, okay, there's probably some historical relevance there, but to go back and then sort of learn the context while I browse social media, Twitter's good for something. I'm not going to credit Elon for that, but I can go on Twitter and learn, right? Kind of get a history lesson. That was awesome. The shout out to Owen and Brett. These guys it was so surreal to see them fighting against each other.
Yes. It was very
and then
weird.
that storytelling of, do you remember when I think Dax had an accidental eye poke on Cash?
Yes.
And then Cash got fired up and was like, my guy, you just poked me in the eye.
Yes.
We have legit beef now. Like obviously that was planned, but I was like,
well, of course.
Okay. I'm hooked in here. And I just really dug that storytelling. The finish, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if this was a callback to something, but the finish of the match felt a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, I don't
To
know. I don't
me,
know if it was Brett and Owen, but I've definitely seen that finish a
it
bunch of
had
times before.
okay. I thought so. Yeah, I don't know if I expected maybe a like a cactus pile driver from Dax for the 1, 2, 3 or what have you, but the finish felt a bit anticlimactic. Regardless, though, really enjoyed this match. The Philly crowd was all into it. I'm so happy it opened, and I'm a sucker for the post match embrace. So
Yeah.
to see them embracing, and I love. I want to kick it to you because this is really your match to shine. I love that they entered together. I was curious on
Yes.
how that would work.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in all the years I've watched wrestling, where they enter together, same music, blah blah blah. They finish the match, right? Hug it out, and then they leave together. That was a total breath of fresh air to me. What did you
Yeah.
think? I know you've been. This is by all means a legitimate dream match for you, was it not?
Yes, because I really wanted to see Cash get some time as a singles guy, and I think we don't appreciate how good these guys are in the ring. I know there's the adage that if you were going to be a good tag team wrestler, you have to first be a great singles wrestler. And I think this is one of those examples of it, but we never really get to see them shine individually, except Dax has had a bunch of matches individually. Cash hasn't. Now, I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because there wasn't confidence in Cash. I don't believe that at all. I think it might have been due to his injury. Maybe he would have had some more opportunities because while he was hurt, Dax started getting those singles matches. But we got Dax versus Punk. I kind of want to know why we got that match and whose idea was that? Was that Punk's idea? Did he really want to wrestle him because he wants to wrestle the Brett guy? I feel like that's what that was there. I I didn't love the roll up finish, even though it's the one that made the most sense for this match because they're both evenly matched. They're brothers. They're not going to do some big injury making thing, even though we had a couple of those spots in this. Like I was kind of surprised that they went with them. I was like, what is going to happen here? What the hell is Cash doing getting to the top rope? Like all I could think is like, there's no way he actually jumps, and then Dax knocked him off.
Right.
Which made total sense to me because it's like there's no way the fists not flips guys are going to jump off the top rope unless it's just a double axe handle onto the back of the neck or something.
Even though we know Cash can land a pretty sweet 450.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
yes.
He has the capability, but it
Yeah.
goes against the gimmick. Yeah.
Dax's shooting star press is legendary. I think it was at the very end when they had the shot of after Dax pinned Cash, of Cash looking up, smiling and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he got me. And I just loved it so much. I love the finish, or the post match angle of them just embracing, and it's fine. We wrestled each other, and now we're done, and now we're back to being brothers, and that's all that was. And I love that, dude. There doesn't have to be beef. There doesn't have to be animosity. There doesn't have to be like this thing. It was just a quick sibling rivalry. There's no breaking up FTR. It's none of that bullshit that we see so often. I just
word for it, yeah.
really enjoyed it. So I want to ask you a question about this. Why don't you think we get any more, or why don't we think we get more of these FTR style matchups of tag partner versus tag partner in AEW or in other promotions? Now, there are exceptions in there. Like, I don't know that I want to see Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, but I'd love to see Matt versus Nick. I'd like to see stuff like that. That would make a ton of sense. Even Fish versus Kyle, I think would be fun. It'd be hard hitting. I don't know. What do you think?
Right. I was going to say I don't have a great answer for you. Kind of stumped me, but perhaps what you mentioned at the end sort of hits on how I would answer this. I think often there's usually one tag partner who really outshines the other.
Yeah.
So like you mentioned Fish and O'Reilly. We love both of those dudes. I think we would probably agree that Kyle O'Reilly at this point would outshine Bobby Fish. And it wouldn't even necessarily be something I would actually maybe even be eager to see, because I think Kyle O'Reilly is just maybe a step above at this point. No disrespect to Bobby Fish, though, even though I know that comes off probably a little disrespectful. I think for FTR, in my mind, they are so evenly matched. Like, if we're imagining this is the AEW video game, hopefully a September release, I mean, these dudes are both ranked like 84 or 85, you know? They're
Yeah.
literally like, I don't know who, I mean, you could put Dax above because we've seen him work more and he won this match.
Yeah.
But in my mind, they're pretty evenly matched. I think sometimes when we get these tag teams, maybe, I don't know if this is a great answer, but it's my initial thought. Maybe there's sort of an imbalance of power in terms of this person is really the star in the tag team. Montez Ford and Angelo
Exactly
Dawkins.
what I was thinking of. Exactly
Right? Like Montez is winning
It's
that
Montez.
10 out of 10 times.
Yes.
Jungle
Yes,
Boy
yeah.
versus Luchasaurus. See, I would even argue that Luchasaurus is winning that, even though you could convince me that maybe Jungle Boy is the larger or the bigger star long term.
1000% he's better. Luchasaurus has to win that. He's
Luchasaurus
larger and
exactly.
it doesn't make sense to have him win. So yeah.
I don't know if that's a great answer, but that's my initial thought. What say you?
No, I think you're right. I didn't give it any thought. I thought that was a good question, and that was it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, because Dax and Cash they're the same size, they're from the same region of the country, the same amount of experience, and Cash puts Dax over all the time as the best wrestler in the world. And honestly, it's hard to argue that he's not one of the best professional wrestlers in the world.
He's a professional.
He's so good in the ring, on the mic, in his promo packages.
Yeah, he's always been the mic guy, absolutely, of the team.
So good. And Cash, I really like him on the mic because he's got that. I just believe everything he's saying.
Yeah.
And it's honest and it seems vulnerable, where we know that Dax is the vulnerable guy that does the crying, right?
Yeah.
But for Cash, I'm in when he's talking. I'm like, yeah, this is important. So I really love it. So I don't know other tag teams I'm thinking about, like, we already saw it. So they did do it. We got to see Penta versus Ray.
I was going to say, even those two in my mind, again, pretty neck and neck. I know you and I are very partial to Ray Phoenix, which I know we'll get to in a little bit. But Penta, I mean, the dude is a huge star.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Who do you give the edge over? Or do you give the edge to, I should say? That's pretty damn close, I think.
I would give it to Ray, but it's only because I think Penta won the last one.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And Ray tends
really
to lose
close.
those big matches. And I don't know why they continue to do that to him. But that's well, let's not get to that yet.
Let me ask you a follow-up though.
Sure.
And then we'll move on if you're ready. How far do you see Dax going in this tournament? We know how much this tournament means to him on a personal level. Do you think he advances? I know we don't have the bracket, but do you see him going a long way, say Final Four, or could you see him in the finals at Double or Nothing in a singles match? Hard to see him in that position, right?
I don't know. So I don't know anything about this tournament. Do you?
No, it's a total mystery. So, we have Samoa Joe, Kyle O'Reilly, Dax Harwood, and there's a fourth person who's going to qualify, I think.
We find out at Rampage this Friday.
Rampage, yeah.
When it's Darby versus Swerve.
Right. I feel like I'm forgetting a fourth person. Yeah.
I think you are. I think I am too. Wasn't it Jungle Boy? Jungle Boy
lost to O'Reilly.
Yeah,
O'Reilly, right. Joe. I forgot the person I just said. It's a late night recording.
Yeah,
for us
on a Thursday. So I think like there's four people, but I don't know. So
taken.
When is this tournament taking place? How many people are in this tournament? Yeah. So I told you that what was it called? It's not Clash of Champions.
Battle of the Belts.
No. It's old school WWF pay-per-view where they had a tournament. That was the pay-per-view. So the tournament actually took place on the pay-per-view in the finals at the end of the night, right before or right after, I can't remember which, Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper 48 with Hulk Hogan retaining once again. I can't remember what it's called. Something of Champions. I want to see that. Give that to me at Double or Nothing. If Double or Nothing is the tournament throughout the night, like a couple of matches, quick ones, they're like 10-minute time limit, and then they go. And we have a couple of squashes, a couple of DQs. I think it could rule. Have that be a running storyline throughout. Some people might go like, well, no, that'll take way too long. And it's, well, the Rumble and the Battle Royale, all those things take just as long. They're just all at once, so it doesn't feel that way. I think they could do some really cool stuff calling that back. than having the Owen tournament in one night. The problem with that is there's also the women's tournament. So then you end up with like a 9-hour show because you have the men's and women's tournament happening at once. So
as much
I
as we
just,
love wrestling, that those you give me flashbacks to WrestleMania of
oh man,
years
yeah.
past when it was an absolute
Oh,
marathon.
yeah. So I guess this is
The other
long
guy's
answer
Adam Cole,
long.
by the way. We
Oh,
forgot Adam
okay.
Cole.
Bebe.
Bebe.
I did not tell you this. Okay. I don't know how far I see Dax going, maybe the second round, and that's it.
Okay.
So let me come back to Adam Cole, and this is our diet someday when you have kids. So I was showing, I want to say Chuck or somebody, I was showing them the Adam Cole entrance. And
I didn't know this. Okay.
oh yes, this was
You
over
got my
at
full attention.
this is over at the house last week, and grandparents all around, and I was talking about Adam Cole, and I showed the video of his entrance, and we got to the Adam Cole baby at the end. Totally great, right?
Amazing every time.
Cindy comes in behind me. This is Jess's mom, Freya's grandma, and goes, "Oh, that's what she was doing at the doorway yesterday. She just kept doing it over and over again. She was like walking through the front door and just throwing them up. Freya, just Adam Cole, baby, walking in and out of the doorway. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, amazing. But I wanted to share that because I thought it was amazing. That kid loves some Adam Cole.
Yes, she is a super fan. My connection went out for a moment, so it was a little delayed, but I heard the last part. Man, that makes my heart so happy. I just have these visions of Freya not only continuing but furthering her love for this as she gets older, and my fingers are just crossed that it comes true.
When I told her I'm getting a tattoo, now that I got the go ahead from the doc, when I'm going to start a sleeve and get it onto the chest at some point. All of the wrestlers definitely want to do this. And she asked me when I told her I was getting a tattoo, she's like, "Are you a real wrestler?" She thought I was she thought I was getting it because she thought I was a shoot wrestler. Yeah. And
That's a
then
shoot.
yesterday, yeah, it's a
Oh,
shoot.
man.
Yesterday,
That's the best thing I've heard all week.
Jess was at the other house introducing the dogs, reintroducing the dogs to make sure they were going to get along for the long trip. So Freya and I had a wrestling tourney in the bedroom, and I thought we were done, and I was just kind of laying there, and I caught an absolutely stiff Meteora right to the sternum out of nowhere. And she got when she jumped into the air to land on me, she just goes, "Wow!" And then bam, just absolutely killed me. Then she was like, she's not quite getting it at school the other day. I taught her like do the thing where I go up to her and kick her, but I won't actually hit her. I'll just slap my knee right when I'm about to make contact. So she's been working on that. So she came up to me while I was signing her out of school. I think it was last week. And I was up there signing the book, and I hear her go, and I didn't see her kick. So she slapped her leg and then just kicked me in the knee as hard as she could. And like hyperextended my knee while I was signing out her thing at the preschool. And I was like,
I think I knew
that's
about
not
that
what
one,
we
yeah.
do. But I was just like, God, just drop me. Just work and heal all the time, that kid.
Oh man, that is those are my favorite stories. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I love that. I love her. She has a bright future. Nightmare Factory class of I always give a different year. I need to just simply do the math. Class of 2038.
Oh man, I don't have
36.
any clue, but
That's gonna come too fast. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
But speaking of the Nightmare Factory, we have Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson with Dante Martin, who is down a brother again, and the Varsity Blondes versus Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, and Red Dragon in probably the coolest pose of the evening, where we got all of them doing their respective poses during the Adam Cole baby. It was amazing. Yeah. The Super Elite, imagine that with Bullet Club behind them. I cannot wait for that pay-per-view, dude.
Forbidden Door. Kenny Omega has to return there.
If he doesn't, it
makes too much sense.
I believe I'll take my TV down off the wall and just throw it away.
We even got that one a month after Double or Nothing. Man, what
Summer's loaded. Summer is loaded.
Oh my gosh. I mean, in Money in the Bank, I think is still going to be exciting.
Oh, that's fun. That's May,
SummerSlam
right?
is always a big deal. Yeah, and I think it's in Allegiant Stadium.
Oh,
I
that's
believe.
Gonna be great.
So Yeah, it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not gonna
stoked.
lie to you, man. Like, I still think my favorite Money in the Bank was the pandemic Money in the Bank with all the cameos.
Really?
I loved it so much. It wasn't the best matches,
That's a
but
hot take.
it is
Diet hot take.
it was absolutely the most entertaining Money in the Bank. It
Yeah.
was not a good match, but it was
And
absolutely the
Otis.
most entertaining. Otis winning was a stupid choice, but
Yeah.
everything leading up to it, Brian and I think it was Brian and AJ, right? Ended up in Vince's office
Yeah.
and just
I
get
believe
out.
so.
And then we had
Yeah.
Laurinaitis was out there, and we got some Brother Love. Doink the Clown made an appearance. It was
Mhm.
just so random and wild, and
And the men and women were all. Oh no, I'm sorry. After you.
at the same time.
Yeah, it was just like we're probably never gonna see that
Who
ever
won?
again.
Women's was Oscar, right?
I think it was Asuka. Yeah,
I
it
remember her
was
dancing
Asuka
with a
and
briefcase.
Otis. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio and then Aleister Black were thrown off of the roof,
That's
presumably
right.
to their death.
Yes, that's right. I forgot all about that.
Like
I
it's
forgot
just
there
so
was
campy.
some
It was
casual
really
murder.
campy, and
Yeah.
there were some great parts of that. I remember this is going way out of order, but do you remember Asuka like climbing up to the second floor
Yes.
and then jumping on
And then
the
jumping.
pile
Yes.
in the beginning of the match?
Yeah, it was amazing, but I was also like, why wouldn't you just go?
This is
That's
true.
all I can think of.
The documentary they're gonna provide us hopefully in like a decade about that pandemic.
Oh,
Well, I don't
man.
want to speak as if it's the total past, but that early pandemic no crowd era is just going to be must watch, man. It's mind boggling to think that we were watching those pay-per-views and it was just this is life, and so
Yeah.
thankful for these performers for
Yes.
entertaining us. I mean,
Yes.
because we're never going to see, like, again, knock on wood, we're never going to see a Money in the Bank like that ever again. And it ruled. It so ruled. I just wish they were going to
Yeah.
give it to Otis. Just, man, I feel
This
like
Otis.
that kind of,
This Otis would have been great.
yes, Baby Vader.
But not,
yes.
oh yeah, not that Kool-Aid man Otis
Still pops me.
rubbing
Yeah.
his belly, and like, it's funny, but it's stupid to give him you got to treat him like you treat Orange Cassidy. Like, you got to treat
doubt.
him like Danhausen. Have
doubt.
them be there, be in the thick of it, have it be a comedy act, because that dude is also just strong as hell. And can every once in a while like piss off the funny man and have him yeet somebody into the crowd or something. Like, that's great, but you don't need to have him have a belt. Like, he doesn't need a belt to get over.
Yeah.
But the Money in the Bank thing, I thought that was kind of dumb. And then it was especially stupid with all the Mandy Miz stuff. And then he loses the briefcase, and then Miz gets a bunch of title shots.
Good memory.
I hated all that stuff, but man, there's some really fun memories from the pandemic era stuff. I was thinking about Cena in that cinematic match. With Bray Wyatt.
You and I love that.
Oh, I thought it was incredible.
Yeah. It was high art. It was,
I mean, it
unlike
really
anything we've seen.
The Randy Orton Edge match, the first one, right? Not the, I think it was Randy Orton and Edge, right? Or was it
Backlash?
Randy Orton and somebody else? I don't know if it was Backlash, because that was the greatest match.
That was
right?
the greatest wrestling match ever.
It was the one before that. It was one of the early ones where they like fought, unless it was, I'm thinking of the same match. Did they fight in the weight room? Because I feel like
are you thinking of the WrestleMania like 40-minute?
That might have been the one I'm thinking of.
I think so. People were kind of down on that. I'm surprised you chose that.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
mostly due to the length of time.
Yeah, way too damn long. But
fighting
I'm just thinking about like fighting
cool,
in all of the different places. I thought was really cool. Getting to see like the PC as a weapon.
Yes,
I thought was just really cool. But then we had like trash too. Like, we had Viking Profits against Tozawa
never
Ninjas.
Forget. Yeah. And now the Viking Raiders are on NXT 2.0. I saw that while scrolling Twitter, and I just thought, this is War Machine. What?
Yeah.
What's this must be a parallel universe.
Gonna be honest with you, I've never liked the Viking Raiders gimmick.
Really?
No, I think it's dumb. I think those guys rule. Look, I'm the Viking guy, and I don't like that gimmick.
Yes.
I think it's because it's all entirely wrong. That they have them out there and they look like Scotsmen, and they just hit their chests a lot. Describe to me the difference between them and Bear Country. Like they're
Yeah.
aside from experience and work rate and that kind of stuff, but like gimmick wise, I just look at them and it's like if
Yes.
Bear Country put blue paint on their face, they're the same people.
Yeah.
So it just feels too generic to me, and they come out with
Mhm.
weapons sometimes, and it's like, well, you're not going to use them, so what are you? You're just
Mhm.
guys wearing fur now. So it's just weird. So I've never really liked the gimmick because it doesn't make any sense to me because there's nothing
Mhm.
Viking related about it. They just
Sure.
dress like stuff. It's kind of like the headbangers. How does that help you win a match? I don't understand. You headbang in a circle, and then that's literally it. And then you wrestle.
Great Attitude Era reference though.
Yeah.
You are
Anyway,
just a wealth of knowledge.
I'm
I can't believe
I'm
you.
trying not to shit on them like this, but yeah. Anyway, go
Yeah, but
ahead.
here we
Sorry.
are.
You were
No,
gassing me up.
I mean, I guess it's only right that we go back to the second match on Dynamite. I was gonna say, how in the hell did we get here? But it was Summer Money in the Bank. Anyway, let's steer the ship back where it needs to go.
Yeah,
Yes,
off
I'm
the
just gonna
rocks. Yeah.
off the rocks. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say three things about this match, hopefully in concise and meaningful ways. Number one, a big takeaway I had was Julia Hart. To me, it makes so much sense that now is the time for her to join House of Black because Death Triangle has Alex Abrahantes. House of
Yes.
Black will have Julia. I love how AEW is sometimes seemingly very subtle about what they show you. We obviously saw Kip Sabian
Yes.
in the first match of the night in the crowd. It was obvious if you're a viewer.
The
And
slow clap.
yes, yeah,
Funk.
yeah, he was rocking the slow clap.
Yeah.
If you're a consistent viewer, you know Kip's been doing that for like an eternity at this point. And then
Yeah.
Julia Hart, they showed her at the beginning, the eye patch gimmick. I think it's going to happen soon. It makes all the sense in the world. My other two takeaways: Nick Camarado. I am consistently surprised that he is not something more in AEW. I think that dude has such a unique look. And I'm not saying I've seen him in a 5-star match just yet, but to me, his presentation just jumps off of the television. And I would love to see what he can do with a bigger spot.
I agree.
Third, okay, yeah. I think he rules. Third and finally, man, the Blackpool Combat Club has just been utilized to perfection. Yuta Wheeler, I knew I was going to say that. Wheeler Yuta is, I knew that was going to happen. Wheeler Yuta is a dude. He has great gear now, as you
Great
predicted.
theme.
Great theme.
Like your ruckus.
Yes, Brian Danielson is just there, being arguably the best, maybe ever, to do this thing we call professional wrestling. And you know, I am a sucker for John Moxley and his entrance. So I love this. They continue to be badass, and I am so curious to see where they go from here. I love that Yuta got the pin, though. That's what I did want to
Oh my
highlight.
God.
I love
Yes.
that. I love that he is getting the victories amongst arguably two of the top 5 guys in the whole entire business.
He elbowed the ever living shit out of Nick Camarado. Holy hell. He kept getting into like the guillotine.
Yeah.
Broke
Sleeper
out
hold.
of it. Sleeper hold broke out of it. So, all right, I'm just going to bludgeon you until you're on your knees and then put you in the seatbelt. Unbelievable finish.
Great seatbelt cover.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God, that seatbelt cover was incredible.
Yes,
Camarado
great
was
name.
straight up in the air on that cover. It was insane. That is a huge man, and he's way bigger than Yuta. And Yuta had him sticking straight up into the air. Absolutely incredible. I love that finish so much, bro. When I said Factory, I wasn't even thinking about this match. I actually forgot that they were fighting the Factory. I was thinking Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson, who were in the Factory. But then they moved to they're the Factory, but they're the family, right?
We did start that way. You're absolutely right. We could touch both. Yeah.
I don't really need to. That match was relatively forgettable.
Yeah.
I
want more from the Undisputed Elite t-shirts.
Yes.
That design is kind of a miss for me. It's a little basic.
It's not good.
It's a little basic.
There's been a lot of that actually that I don't like. There's a few things that can FTR can get away with it. It just says FTR on it. That's all you need. Living Legends. I love that. That hoodie is going to be mine someday, bro.
I'm surprised it's not in your card already.
Well, the van and all of the expenses going toward a trip to Michigan for really a 3 to 4 day turnaround while driving there is going to be that'll be enough. But maybe I'll scoop something when I'm up there. if there's time. I'm sure there will be lots of trips to coffee places as we all struggle to stay awake. Man, I'm with you. I think Nick Camarado is a star. I think he looks good. He sells really well. He sells his clotheslines, like when he goes for those shots and they get ducked under and he has to sell those strikes. I think he does such a good job with his eyes, with his facials. He's just so good at looking like, I'm so angry, I will rip your face off with this hit. Your head is coming off. And if it's not coming off, it's breaking into pieces. I love that. I think I just think he's great. I think I would love to see more of this. Did you see the Bryan Danielson conversation that Wheeler Yuta was asked about?
No.
So
no,
he
not at all.
talked to the night that he won the Pure Championship. I believe that's when it happened, or it was close to that time. Bryan giving him the belt when the camera was off after he had done his celebrations and stuff. They were in the ring and Danielson handed him and he said, "This was mine before and now it's yours and you earned it," and gave him the belt. He said that meant more to him than winning the championship. And it's just
Could you imagine?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean,
and your mentor is William Regal, Lord Steven Regal.
Wheeler Yuta.
Pretty cool.
Must feel like he won the absolute wrestling lottery. I mean,
and this guy was forgettable. And again, no disrespect to him in terms of the booking and his placement amongst the sea of male competitors on the roster. Brad, 2 months ago, he was just, I mean, in the AEW depth chart, if we had a draft of AEW men's talent in this case, I mean, Yuta was what, maybe a 5th round pick?
Oh, I don't even know if that.
Right? 6th round?
In a
Tom Brady?
In a 5-team league, yes. Like that dude was buried in the depth charts.
Yeah.
Like, so if you said Wheeler Yuta 5 months ago, somebody might ask you who. It's just sort of is he still in Chaos now that he's with Blackpool Combat? How does that work? I think there's a storyline to tell there. I feel like Chaos versus Blackpool Combat is a given for some New Japan storyline stuff leading up to the pay-per-view. I doubt it'll be on the pay-per-view, but I can see Rocky versus Yuta being really great.
For sure.
I think that one makes a lot of sense. Danielson versus Ishii could be. Did that match already happen this year? I can't remember if it was Danielson or if it was Moxley. I think it was Moxley. Somebody fought Ishii earlier in the year. It wasn't just Eddie.
Yeah, I don't think it was Danielson.
I just don't remember who it was. I don't remember. I swear he fought somebody else, but I might be thinking of Nagata and who's the other guy that Moxley fought like back to back? The bread guy, the guy obsessed with bread, and I can never remember his name.
I was gonna say, you're obviously not talking about Kenta, even though we know they fought.
No, not Kenta. Absolutely not. No, that was amazing. But I hope he shows up for this. I hope he's healed at that point. But I know he's injured right now.
Right.
Punk versus
Kenta.
Man,
this exactly. This was awesome. Like you said, the 10-man was what it was. The right people won. Yeah, that's fine. But the Blackpool Combat Club, so intrigued to see where they go. So happy that Wheeler Yuta is getting this opportunity and getting the pins. And to me, it seems like Danielson and Moxley would have it no other way. Like, we're made men. Yuta needs this shine and deserves this shine. So I'm just so fired up for it. I don't know where they're going with this because there are so many great trios in the company.
There better be a damn trios belt.
You would think so. I mean, they're building up so many.
What are we doing here?
We had Blackpool Combat Club, Death Triangle, and House of Black on the same show. What a time, my friend.
The only thing I can think that they're waiting on or why they're hesitant to do it is they don't want to have too many tag teams, because if you do trios and tag teams, then it's when do you do like that 5-man or that 10-man thing or that 6-man thing that's not for the belts to get talent on the screen and further a story or create a storyline. So I totally get the TV aspect of it, but at some point you got to go, all right, we'll do tag team next week. We'll have trios this week. And It can be that simple. Sometimes Punk's not on the screen at all. Sometimes Adam Cole seems to be on every single show every week, to the point where I'm kind of sick of it. But I'm not sick of Adam Cole. It's just, where are these other guys? I did want to transition from here, unless you have anything else to add, into Wardlow versus Lance Archer.
Yes.
Okay,
I had a
Wardlow.
blast with this.
This match was so much fun.
Yes,
But
it
I do want to
was.
say this before we move on, before we talk about the match. Lance Archer's got to win a big match. He hasn't won anything in so long. It hasn't been since the IWGP belt. They've had him in big spots, but he loses every one of them enough where I'm like, all right, he's going to come in, he's going to beat the shit out of somebody, and then he's going to take the L. And that seems to be what they do with him now. And it's fine. They have that Murder Hawk monster. They have the big scary guy that just goes ballistic on people. I'm fine with that, but have him actually Murder Hawk somebody. Like, get him out there and kill him and give him a belt. Have him get the TNT title.
What do you mean? He beat Serpentico. That wasn't a power win.
No, but I loved
beat him in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I well, not as fast as Hook.
No,
Hook
has
that.
Who can upstage Hook, really? If we're
Serpentico is so great at what he does.
Yes, he's perfect.
I still, that spot, there's like the spots that live rent free in my head. Twitter account,
great Twitter account.
It's the Serpentico on Dark against Hangman and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, I think. And it's Serpentico, and I can't remember who the other two were. Him doing a huge crossbody off the top rope, but they're all like just staring at him before he jumps, and he does the sign of the cross and then jumps off the rope, and they all just walk away, and he just face plants. And it's like, is it silly? Yes. Does it rule? Absolutely. I just love him so much. But the streamer gimmick and then Hook killing him before they even hit the ground is so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
No, what you said about Archer, I completely agree with you, so I won't add to it. On the flip side, or conversely, Wardlow, we've said it ad nauseum on GI. His build is just, it's so simple. It's so Batista-esque, and learning that he was inspired by Dave Batista, and that's his dude, that's his muse. I'm just such a fan of what they're doing with him right now. Wardlow versus MJF is a match I'm looking forward to so much for Double or Nothing. I just love what they're doing with Wardlow. I love that this is truly a homegrown star. How many of us knew the name Wardlow before this company? He's from Cleveland. He was doing his independent thing, but this guy has become a huge star for this company. I did not know he had a Hurricane Rana in him, Brad. I know he's agile. I know he did some cool things, I think, against Cody in Atlanta in that steel cage match like a year and change ago. But his Hurricane Rana was so smooth, Brad. It was just
chef's kiss.
It was an absolute chef's kiss. I think the
fast. Couldn't believe how fast it was. And effortless.
I think the heights this dude can reach are even beyond anything that I thought he could get to. I mean, I see future world champ in
oh, for sure,
in him. I love this match. It didn't need to be 30 minutes. I think it was like maybe 7 minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't.
Yeah, it was pretty short. I think it was around 10. Under 10.
It was pretty. It was pretty short. It's what we needed. Of course, MJF and Shawn Spears are in the crowd being heels, and I just had a blast with this one. The Powerbomb Symphony to Lance Archer. Brad, like you, part of what I love about pro wrestling is just being able to marvel at ridiculous feats of strength. So seeing Wardlow powerbomb Lance freaking Archer 4 times. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you one question before I turn it back to you. I don't know about you, but I still pop for the roll through he does after the third powerbomb into the fourth one.
Yes.
It's like, I know what's coming, but I still love it so much, especially to a dude who's like 6'8", 200, 80 pounds. I love everything you're doing with Wardlow right now.
Lance is a monster. He legitimately is a monstrous man, just enormous human being. And Wardlow picked him up like he was just picking up a sack of dirt, just throwing him around. I thought Nick Camarado was a feat when he did that. I thought Butcher was a feat when he did that, but those guys are small compared to Lance. Lance, and he got him up there pretty easily. And I love what they're doing with Wardlow. It's super simple. And then afterward, we got a tease. I think it might be a swerve. What's his name? It begins with an M. Formerly Big Cass.
W. Morrissey.
Yes. I think
you think it's going to be a swerve? You don't think it's going to be Enzo, do you?
I hope not. If it's Enzo, mic only, no ring, mic only. I'd be okay with that. I'd love it if it was both of them. But I don't think that's going to happen. But I think it could be somebody else. There's other people that aren't there. I think there's still a lot of possibilities that it could be a bunch of different people, and maybe even if it's a return for Miro, who knows? But I think it's got to be him. I think it'll be a disappointment if it's not. But it was a hell of a tease, and commentary didn't sell it. That's why I'm like, I don't know. That they know we're not stupid, and we know you're not stupid, and we know that you know exactly who the hell he's talking about. So why didn't you say anything? Why'd you say it's going to be a surprise when you know damn well based on that it's not going to be a surprise? So I imagine if it was like or if Ryback came through the curtain.
Oh,
what would you do? How many clicks would be heard across America?
Yeah, numerous. I think it has to be W. Morrissey. And to your point, Brad, I think we also can't forget that MJF, time after time, proves to us that he is an absolute dastardly heel. Mm-hmm. And do you remember when we were talking about his quote-unquote babyface promo?
Yeah.
And we were a topic of discussion was like, oh, is he like this a potential double turn? What's happening here? And then the next week,
nope,
he tells us he's the devil incarnate. Yeah. So I think you're wise for not just totally accepting that it's going to be W. Morrissey, but I think it will be him. And I'm curious to see what he looks like in AEW ring. And like every week, I'm curious to see how him being the recipient of a Powerbomb Symphony is going to play out, because that is also a rather large man.
The guy is enormous too. So we'll see. I think
great interview on Renee's pod, by the way, too. It came out today.
Yes.
The Sessions. Really good interview.
MJF has not lied to us about opponents. He didn't with Jericho, and he hasn't so far here. And I like that MJF is the guy that's like, I'm just going to get all these people to do my dirty work. I saw somebody saying they don't like that. I'm like, why not? That's a great gimmick, because he's also the wrestler. You want to get to me, you're going to have to go through everybody I throw at you first. I like that.
He's rich. Yeah, he's rich.
He's like, it's literally his gimmick. I mean,
he brought us Nick Gage, Brad.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
He got us Hoovy. There's so many. I loved it so much, even though I thought that match, especially the first half, sucked. I was just so happy to see Hoovy in the ring with Jericho. Like 1996 Brad was really happy. Well, I'll put it that way. So I absolutely love what they're doing with MJF and Wardlow.
Yeah, me too. 96 Brad was elated. I believe the next segment we got on the show was the Jericho Appreciation Society having an in-ring confrontation, no physicality though, with Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. Brad, I'm even looking at the artwork provided on this recap article from Bleacher Report. Even just looking at the artwork, Daddy Magic pops me. The facials, the gum chewing. This guy is just an absolute. Your impressions are still fantastic. If you're listening to this pod, as Brad said, remember we do have video. If you're not watching video, you are missing this man's Daddy Magic impression, which is a sight to behold. Brad, I just want to be very brief about this with the Macho Hands.
Yes.
I am so shocked that I'm enjoying this Jericho Appreciation Society. I am enjoying the hell out of it. And Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful continue to be one of the most over acts on the crowd. We saw later in the night that the JAS ended up beating them up in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, of course, just your overall thoughts on the segment, if you thought it was effective. But then secondly, we're getting seemingly these teases of Santana and Ortiz and Eddie evening the odds and bringing on two teammates to have a proper 5-on-5 matchup. what did you think of the segment? And I know we're going to revisit this conversation now. Any updated thoughts on who you would like those 2 people to be?
Yeah, I really love this segment. Eddie, just so real. That dude's legit scary when he gets up like that. Like, I don't know that Jericho was acting until the very end when he was clearly overacting in the chair.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing. Oh, he's just totally leaned back and had that blank stare on his face. It was so good.
Yes.
I loved it. Jericho's so much better as a heel. He always has been. My favorite thing about the whole segment was probably the AEW Galaxy. I want to talk to you to the AEW Galaxy, not the WWE Universe, but the AEW Galaxy. Popped me huge. Got the crowd too, it seemed. Daddy Magic doing the intro music, or that's the intro, but the kind of the over the top before the intro was amazing. Then they all came out and we had some combos. Matt really wasn't involved, except he was involved. Not verbally, just chomping that gum like it owed him money. Just absolutely teeing off on this piece of gum in the back. Just chomp, chomp, chomp. All bug-eyed, like eyes like this the entire time. Like I don't know how to describe the eyes on this man. Like everything about it is it's so damn funny. I could just, and I don't know what his accent is. It's like Brooklyn or something. Like he's Canadian.
He's from Canada.
Yeah. I can't.
And
Really
then the cadence, the volume of it. What did
he say? He said something last week where he just echoed something that somebody said. Do you remember what it was?
Was it human resources?
Yes.
It popped you, yes.
Yes, it's one of the funniest lines I've ever heard because it's just nothing and it's a throwaway and it's like he's got Tourette's. He's just saying shit that other people said. They're leaving his like, I'm going to call human resources. And Jericho delivered that line really awkwardly. And he's like, I'm going to call human resources on your ass. And he said it like that. And I was like, why did you emphasize ass? What a weird part of that sentence to emphasize. Like, do you mean his ass? And then you get Daddy Magic just bug-eyed, human resources. And then it just cuts away. And it's all that was his whole segment. It was just him going like this and going, you got that? And yeah. And that's it. Just yelling the whole time. That segment was money because we had Eddie like rage-filled, serious, Daniel Garcia dead serious, Jericho dead serious. They're like face to face, and in the background you have this absolute cartoon just standing there with his eyes bugging out of his skull, like he's in framed Roger Rabbit chomping on gum. Like absolutely. How is this not the most entertaining thing on TV? Everybody in the world needs to be watching it. He is.
He's a gift. I am such a huge fan of this man. My fandom just grows and grows the more we see him.
Absolute mark for this dude. And I just,
yes,
more of him on my TV all the time. I would love,
yes, please.
Like if they started like doing something like where they're playing cards in the back or something. I want
APA style.
Oh my God, the 2.0 being interrupted constantly by Danhausen would be comedy gold.
It would.
Oh my gosh, give that to me right now. Give that to me every week. I love what they're doing with this, and I wanted to hate it because it feels wrong, but they're leaning into that, which is making it great. So I can't say enough about how much I like this. I am sick of seeing Santana Ortiz and Eddie Kingston get beat up. Whatever they do for the partners, no clue who it's going to be. I don't even have a guess for you. Whatever they're going to do with that, they need to do it soon. And I think Eddie will be on the shelf for a little while after taking a fireball to the face, which I haven't seen that in a long time. And great fireball. That might have been one of the best fireballs I've ever seen. Well delivered fireball. So Eddie's going to be out for a while, so they need to do something big here if it's going to pay off. Because right now it's just sort of who are they going to get? So I don't know that anybody else makes sense except one group of people to even the odds. if Santana Ortiz are left, Eddie is hurt, who better to turn to than your old tag team partner? And now the odds are even. Now you have Santana Ortiz and Blackpool Combat Club against the JAS. Inject that straight into my veins.
Yeah, that's absolutely a double or nothing quality match.
Man, I hope that's what happens because that would be great. But I don't know if they're going to go that direction. I hope they do. I think that could rule. Who do you think?
You convinced me. I love that. I was gonna continue to stay on the LAX, Hernandez, and Homicide route, but to your point, if Eddie's gone, you need a third person now, and not just two. And Blackpool Combat Club makes so much sense. I think this is a case where, as fun as it is to see names from the past, I would rather current people on the roster get this opportunity, even if it's made men like Blackpool Combat Club. I'd rather see that than another set of one-offs where you're bringing in people who are not signed full-time, because you and I often lament about the lack of use of some of the talent. So I love your idea. I'm here for Blackpool Combat.
Well, I loved what they did with MJF and CM Punk when he's like, you gotta if you want to have a rematch, you gotta wrestle FTR. So good luck finding a partner. And it's just John Moxley. Like,
and it was great. Yeah.
Like you suddenly just make one of the most dominant tag teams you could find face off against one of the best in the world. If not, well, at this point, the best in the world. And I mean, it's so simple, Tyler. It's so simple.
It is. And Blackpool makes so much storyline sense. It's obvious the for the love of wrestling versus for the love of sports entertainment. I mean, it's that's money.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense.
Speaking of money, Brad, next, I think we only have 2 more matches on the card, believe it or not. We saw the Philly street fight. Serena Deeb, our professor, defeated Hikaru Shida. You and I had high expectations for this match. This rivalry has been one of our favorites in the company over the last year and change. What did you think of the professor picking up the dub here?
Well, the professor may have won, but Shida's ring gear stayed undefeated. This was
that it did.
Woo boy. This was I don't know if it's everything that I expected. It certainly didn't disappoint. I thought it was really good, but I felt like we've seen a lot of it already. So I don't know. Maybe the other matches were so good that I wasn't expecting it. And then we had this payoff and we had this street fight and it just felt like a lot of the same stuff. Even though I loved Deeb's counter, the simple knee counter, grabbing the chair and just hitting the pointy end right into the kneecap. I loved that. I loved the, I really liked the finish. I thought Sheeta tapping out it bummed me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I wanted Sheeta to win, but I also said this earlier. I think I said it last week. I want Deeb against Thunder Rosa. So with Thunder Rosa watching from the monitor, they're clearly setting that up. The professor against Thunder Rosa. So
it's a great title match for the pay-per-view.
That match is going to be incredible. That match is going to be so good. One thing though, I'm sad they dropped the kind of the professor challenge storyline for the Sheeta feud, which has been going on for about a year. So I don't hate it, but I want her to go back to squashing rookies in under 5 minutes or whatever it is. I really like that. I thought the match was really good. I thought all the kendo sticks, we already knew we were going to get that. That's been the common thing in their matches, but I don't know if the right person won, but I'm not mad that Sheeta lost and that Deeb won. I don't know which way I would go here. It felt like it's not over, and it should definitely be over at this point. What do you think?
Yeah, I second that. I'm really excited about Deeb versus Rosa. Very intrigued by where Hikaru Shida goes from here.
Yeah. Tyler froze on us. I think if you can hear me, I'll
it's still one of the best female. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I pumped it. I said Tyler froze, and well,
Oh,
I'm going to stop because I thought maybe you're probably still going, and I wanted to make sure.
yeah,
Well,
I was.
embrace the mess. What the hell is going on at 9:13 that you're not getting internet? Like,
I know. What
it's Thursday at
ridiculous.
9:13. What are people streaming on Thursday at 9? Go get off the porn, kids. What the hell?
Get off the brazzers. No, man, I'll try to be concise, even though we could talk 30 minutes about the brilliance of both of these women. I'm glad brazzers popped you.
Yes.
Quality stuff here. Yeah, man, I'm super excited for D versus Rosa. I think if anything, this just proved to us that Hikaru Shida is so made and so over. I'm really intrigued to see where she goes. Maybe she's in the greater TBS title picture. We know that that's Jade's belt from now until the end of times.
Yeah.
But I think Hikaru Shida, even though she lost, comes out looking still like one of the biggest stars on the roster, male or female. And yeah, I enjoyed this, man. It was different. It was unlike anything else on this card. I love the powder that Serena
that
D
was
brought
great.
in. That was unexpected.
Yes.
And
Tony Khan's under the ring cocaine is what a lot of people say.
I was going to make a cocaine joke. Nicely done. You beat me to it.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, man, just love both of these women. And I think Deeb really is currently the perfect challenger for Rosa. It just makes so much sense. Who else would Rosa fight that would be double or nothing worthy? Like you said, we know these two are going to put on a banger for the AEW women's title next month. So I'm super excited about it.
I think Shida makes sense that she has a feud for the New Japan show coming into that, doing the AEW Japan thing, or maybe people from DDT. We'll see. I'm sure there's rivalries that we don't know about, but I don't know what happens with her. I would love to see her just start a new feud, and I hopefully not with somebody like I don't want it to be with Nyla. I don't want it to be with people she's already wrestled a bunch of times. There's so many people she hasn't wrestled on the card that I think she could put out some really good matches with. Like, imagine her against Toni Storm. I think that'd be a great matchup. I think her against Jamie Hayter would be great. There's a bunch of things. Did she ever get a rematch with Britt? I think Britt.
I was just thinking about the Britt rivalry.
Yeah, I think that could be really great. Yeah, because she lost and then left and came back with a new haircut and some face paint. So looks great, by the way. Much better than her title run look. But she had such a great run and didn't get to have it in front of fans before she lost it. So hopefully she's back in that picture at some point, because I love Shida and what she's done.
Yeah. You just can't say enough great things about her. I don't want to say she's underrated, but I think Britt and Jade and even Thunder Rosa, those are the top names we often think about in the women's division, and for a good reason, quite frankly. But Hikaru Shida, man, like she's right there. Yeah. If she's on that next tier, she's at the top of that next tier. Right. I am just as big a fan of her as you are. But I think we reached the main event here, Brad. So somehow on the last episode of GI, we did not discuss the TNT title picture, and we actually had a title change on Dynamite. Scorpio Sky beat Sammy Guevara. He reclaimed the TNT title. He is now a 2-time champion. Somehow, for a week, we have been living in a parallel universe where Dan Lambert is a babyface manager.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Which is not a universe nor galaxy I ever want to live in. It keeps me up at night. But I'm super happy to see Scorpio won. Frankly, I did not expect this. I thought it was a no-brainer that Sammy was going to retain. So consider me worked. But I am thrilled that he got the title back. I think we have some seeds of perhaps a Kazarian turn. Maybe Ethan Page is on it. Maybe Dan Lambert is on it. And they're going to turn on Scorpio, since Scorpio appears to be a babyface champ.
Oh, they're turning. Yeah.
What happens to Sammy and Ty from here? There's a lot of questions I have for you. So please answer any or all of those. And did you enjoy this match?
I did enjoy most of the match. I did not enjoy the part where Sammy 450 or 9 million off that top of that ladder at 800 miles an hour.
What was that?
But didn't jump far enough. and Scorpio couldn't get there, so he just ate shit on the mat from 9 miles up, and Scorpio had to sell for 15 minutes there of just him stumbling around the ring as though he was dazed, while Sammy regained his consciousness after giving himself probably CTE forever. I just
wasn't needed.
Stop that match at that point. You shouldn't even, like, he was wobbly up on that rope and they still had him jump off and get a cutter from a mile up above. It just felt like it, which was great, but there was just so much in there where it was like high risk. And I know Sammy did the I'm crazy thing. And it's like, well, yeah, you are really effing crazy. Like, look what it got you. You I mean, you ate the ground completely. You ate it. Ty was not acting when she was looking at you with concern from the side of the ring, like, oh my God, my boyfriend's dead. Like that was like
It was scary.
Okay?
Yeah.
I was so scared. I went, you got to stop. Like
this wasn't needed.
I did not like Sammy as a babyface. I just didn't.
Yeah, you were pretty down on it.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all because it was just vanilla. And he's much better as a heel. He always has been better as a heel. It doesn't mean that his in-ring work suffers from it. It's just his character is better as a heel than as a babyface. And I really don't know what they're going to do with him and Ty, but I do not care. What I care about right now is what they're doing with Scorpio. The thing that I think I find most interesting here was the look that Ethan and Lambert gave him when he shook hands with Kazarian. I don't know if you caught that in the background, but there was some serious
I did. Thank you, Twitter.
What is that? Yeah. I immediately looked. I knew they were going to shake hands. I knew it was going to happen, even though Frankie was wearing the all black, which felt like heel turny. But
yes,
right, yeah,
yeah.
I say wearing Steve Jobs uniform. I don't know, man. I don't know where they go with this. I hope we get a turn. I hope we get Scorpio and Paige at Double or Nothing for the title. I hope, because that would be amazing. I kind of hope Ethan Page wins it. And I want to see Scorpio have that run. But Ethan Page that dude is money. And they have not been using him. And it kind of makes me mad how little we've seen him on TV, not just on YouTube. So hoping for that, because that dude can talk, that dude can wrestle. Total package there. Should be all ego. I don't want to see Dan Lambert, but that's just me. I think he's great at what he does. So maybe me not wanting to see him is the point, and that's why we should see him. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't. I agree with you about Dan Lambert. I would absolutely love to see Scorpio versus Ethan for the title anywhere, but especially at Double or Nothing. I don't know if I'm ready to say we're definitely going to get that because, like you said, we just haven't seen Ethan that much. He had the tag team match versus Darby and Sting. I think maybe at Double or Nothing last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't believe that sounds right.
Is that when he threw Darby into the crowd?
Yes, yeeted him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love your fantasy booking. And if we get Scorpio versus, say, Ethan at Double or Nothing, when are we going to get Paige and Scorpio versus Ty and Sammy? Because that seems like that's definitely happening given the Ty and Paige fight that was happening throughout this match. So I have a lot of questions moving forward, but I think putting the belt back on Scorpio is absolutely the right choice. I want to see him go into LA as champ. They have that LA show not too long after Double or Nothing. So whatever it takes to have him be champ heading into that show and leave LA the champ is what I will sign up for.
Yeah, great comments. One thing that we did miss, the Britt and Jamie talking to Tony segment, and then Tony's backup showing up, Ruby Soho, with the Owen Hart.
We've been calling for
enough. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Do you think we get Nugget chance at any point during the tournament? Which I think would be hilarious. I am not a Nugget. Like, so good. Or maybe that Owen impersonator guy shows up, that little dweeb guy they had with the fake prosthetic nose and the blonde hair. to mock Owen. I hope he shows up at some point.
Maybe. Never say never.
Out there going to mock him during the tournament named after him. But I think it would be great. I think it would be funny. It would be a great move for like MJF to do. I feel like. I don't know. Pixelated City. Let's wrap it up since the only thing here that's getting better is the distortion field around your picture. Oh wow, we're in that kind of a
on
delay.
my end. It was just lagging.
Oh, you are absolutely 5 seconds behind. I'm gonna stop talking here in 5 seconds, starting now. So go ahead and take us home, Tyler.
I think that's been 5 seconds. Man, what a night for us. We battled through these tech issues. I thought we left these behind in 2021, but they reared their ugly head. Regardless, man, I had a blast on this one. I hope everyone listening enjoyed the Dynamite recap. It's fun to switch it up once in a while and spend nearly 90 minutes reviewing a show that we often love. Brad, my friend, I'm wishing you and the fam a safe trip. Of course, I wish it was better. Wish it was under better circumstances, but of course, all of us are thinking of you. I thank Jabari and Mo and Warren and the folks behind 19 for their leadership and for stepping up to show your family how much we care about you and love you all. And we'll get back together at some point. We know it's not going to be this weekend. Obviously for good reason, right? Some things come before GI, but we'll have another episode sometime in the near future, and I look forward to that when we can link up. But in the meantime, like Brad said, please like, subscribe, share, do all the things. We thank you for your support of GI. You can follow Brad at Winduster. You can follow me at Tyler J. McDowell, gimmickinfringementpod.com, and we'll see you on the next episode. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.